It is Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by a friend over at Factor. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. He is back today after missing Wednesday's show. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Tommy along for the ride as well. How's your work been going with the Minnesota Twins, the last few days?
Well, they won a series, Chris, so everyone's happy. Some of the bats broke out. They got a long ways to go. They're an up-and-down team. It's going to be an interesting season for them. I'll say that.
Yeah. Quick reminder, today's show is presented to you by our friends over at Factor, and by tonight, you've got to get your Factor question of the weekend so that we can pick one. They've been outstanding the last few weeks, so if you've been knocking on the door and you said, Chris hasn't been picking it, send in a good question, and then we will read one on Friday's show, and we will make you very famous here in the John Boy Media community. Start off a little tip cap. Max Fried. You tell me if he's back. Complete game on the north side of Chicago. His second complete game of the year. Did you know he is only the third pitcher since 2021 to have multiple complete games before the month of June?
It's actually more than I thought it would be, to be honest with you. The complete game is one of these stats that's becoming like more and more rare. And if you have one, if you can throw a complete game, you either have an organization that trusts you a ton or you're just an absolute stud. And I think Max has both of those in spades. And I was thinking, somebody asked me if I was going to Mauer's Hall of Fame, his induction this summer. And I was like, man, I kind of have to go. It's probably like my only like friend that's going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. But then I started thinking, like, Max Fried is on his way to the Hall of Fame.
What?
Have you ever looked at his stats, Chris?
Trevor, I love Max Fried. I picked him to win the Cy Young Award.
Chris Rose, let me tell you this right now. Go look at his stat page. He's got some work to do. Still got more years to do it, I understand. But, like, this guy is on pace to be a Hall of Famer. He's insane, Chris. I don't think you know how good he's been.
Okay. Well, hold on. I mean,
and everybody watching the show, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and check his baseball reference page out.
Okay. So his counting stats are nowhere near where they're going to have to be.
He's
right?
played 6 years in the big leagues. He's got 12 more to go.
But he's 30, and I don't think he's going to pitch till he's 42. I'm just saying.
Crazy, bro.
He's not even at 800 strikeouts.
Why are you being a hater?
I'm not being a hater. You're being a hater. ERA plus is phenomenal. 142.
What have we talked about on this show? We're going to have to adjust the counting stats to go into the Hall of Fame because pitching has changed. The way clubs view pitching has changed.
That part I agree with.
I can't wait. I can't wait when Max gets inducted in the Hall of Fame. Like, Chris, remember when you were a hater and I wasn't?
I'm not a hater. It just caught me a little bit off guard. So you know what? Maybe one day we'll do a show, maybe a week of shows in the off season, like Hall of Fame projections for guys who are 30 and younger. Maybe we would do something fun.
Hot takes only on this show, Chris. That's the route we're going to go. That's the route we're going to go on this show.
This is not a take. This is a fact. The Phillies, record-wise at least, the best team in baseball. 36-14 after they take care of business on Wednesday night against the world champion Texas Rangers. As for those pat on the backs and way to go, guys, their skipper wasn't having it in his media meet and greet afterward.
This is the best 50-game start since the 2001 Mariners.
What'd they do?
They won 116 games. They were pretty good.
They won on what?
116.
116. But what'd they do at the end?
They did not win the championship.
That's right. So you got to keep going. It's you just got to keep grinding, keep pushing all the way through.
Do you like Rob Thompson's grinder mentality, or is it okay to kind of pat your team on the back and say, hey, listen, we're off to a really, really nice start. I love, you're shaking your head.
I love the grinder mentality. I mean, that embodies Philadelphia. People were so mad when I said, Gabe Kapler's great for Philly, and everyone's like, he's not Philly. You don't know what you're talking about. Rob Thompson and what he just said right there, that is such a Philly attitude. And it's the right attitude, especially with a group that he has, okay? Like, the guys in that clubhouse, they've had success in the regular season. They've had success in the postseason. But what's eluded them is, winning that last game of the season, right? That's all that guys that get to that point care about. From that point on, the rest of their careers, it's like, dude, I need to win a World Series. You get there, you taste it a little bit. It tastes so good, but then it gets taken away from you. They want to finish the meal, Chris. This is the exact mentality they need to have. We're still so early in the season. We're not even to June yet. We're going to talk about I'm going to talk about the Cardinals later. Spoiler alert. And like things can change so quickly. There's still so many games left. You can't just be like, yeah, we're good. Like we're the best. We're going to keep doing this. No, it's like we have to continue to work the entire season. So like, yes, I think it's a great mentality for Philadelphia and the Phillies and this like veteran team that they have, but it's also just, that's a great mentality for the world. Like keep going. Like don't rest on your laurels. Like don't pat yourself on the back too much. Every once in a while say, okay, yeah, we're good, but you got to keep going. We just talked about the kids, the youth, Chris, before this show. Okay. That's a great mentality for the youth. Keep grinding, get better.
And I agree with you for the most part, but I think that if the pandemic taught us anything, isn't it to appreciate the moment at least a little bit? No?
Okay. Yeah, look, I said you could pat yourself on the back a little bit, but then keep going.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I always think it is hard because at the end of the day, teams are measured by championships. And you and I both have this feeling that it's not always the best team that ends up winning the title in this sport. It gets really tricky between having almost a full week off if you're the 1 or 2 seed in each league, to the pitching matchups, to that team we didn't match up well with or not playing good baseball over a 5-game set, which happens throughout the season to every team. That sometimes you do need to appreciate what you have accomplished. Now, some people say, well, you're right. Philly hasn't accomplished anything. We're not even a third of the way through the season. They've played a whopping 3 games against teams with winning records and none since the beginning of the year. Like, I understand all that, but I do think it is okay to say, damn, we're on a roll. That's good. We know that there's some other tough parts coming, but this is what we can be. I think that's okay.
I don't think anybody in Philadelphia wants to hear that. Like, not one person is like, "Yeah, let's be a little nicer."
So
and
it's 6 months of misery. It's 6 months of
it's not misery. That's 6 months
doesn't...
of grinding, of working hard. That's what that is. It's not misery. He's not miserable. Of course, he's happy.
That didn't sound great to me. That sounded like, oh, yeah.
Okay,
you know.
Let me ask you this: if you work hard and you put your nose down and you're grinding to get somewhere where they are at right now, which is, I believe, the best record in baseball. I'm pretty sure it is. Why would you stop? Why would you change anything up?
You don't want to stop. I'm not saying stop.
I'm right here, Chris. Head down. I'm working. That's work. That's working.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were doing there.
I don't know either. I think I was brushing the walls of a pool. That's what I know how to do.
I thought it was going to be very close to a Charles Barkley sort of hand motion there for a second. We're going to
with the churros.
Yeah, I thought we were going to run that as a meme forever. I don't know. I understand that nothing gets accomplished before June. I get all that.
You're from Ohio, Chris. You've gone Hollywood. You've gone LA. You've gone California soft, bro.
Definitely have not. Not one bit.
Nobody in Cleveland wants to hear that either.
Hey, man, if anything, I have gone the other direction, and I do regret it a little bit that I haven't necessarily appreciated everything that has come my way. No, it's true. I think so. What? Always thinking about the next thing, not appreciating.
Oh, they're not thinking about the next thing, Chris. They're focusing on the thing.
Okay.
They're not thinking about the next thing.
All right. Interesting.
Task at hand.
Let's move on to the winningest franchise in this sports history, the New York Yankees. Juan Soto, 2 more big flies as they took care of Seattle on Wednesday night. This came just hours after the team general partner Hal Steinbrenner said at the owners' meetings, quote, "I'm going to be honest, payrolls at the levels we're at right now are simply not sustainable for us financially. It wouldn't be sustainable for the vast majority of ownership groups given the luxury tax we have to pay." Was Soto's night more uplifting for Yankees fans, or were the owner's words more defeating?
I think there's context to it. There's a couple things I want to get to. Number one, like, there's already a bunch of money coming off the books next year, which is going to help with lowering the payroll. They have some decisions to make on some options. I think Anthony Rizzo is a very intriguing option for them. They have it at $17 million next year. Is like, I think he's a great addition to that team, but if they need to be somewhere financially to go sign Soto, I think that he could, be expendable for them. I think that, Giancarlo Stanton trade. I was thinking about this. So much money for so many years. They'd have to eat a bunch of it to trade him. I think it could be a possibility, to be honest with you, because every dollar counts because of these competitive balance CBT thresholds.
Yeah.
That's the next point I want to get to. They need to abolish these. If Steinbrenner's coming out and saying we can't, field the team we want to field because we need to get under these thresholds, they're not working. They're just not working. And again, these were self-imposed. The owners wanted to do this. They brought it up in the CBA because they said we want more parity in the sport. We don't want these big money teams running away with it. That doesn't happen in baseball. And this hasn't changed anything. All this has done is created a soft cap for these teams. It can be an excuse for them not to go out and sign players, or like Hal's saying, it's really a hindrance for them. When you're paying 100% on every dollar, like some of these teams are doing, like it really hinders you financially. I love that he said this because I think next CBA, they're going to be like, you know what, let's get rid of those. It hasn't created parity. We still have teams spending $25, $30 million a year on their payroll. It hasn't just transferred. Hey, the big teams aren't spending, so the other teams are going to go out and get these guys. They haven't done that. So it hasn't worked at all. So one, the Yankees have a bunch of money coming off the books. Just because he said that doesn't mean they can't go after Juan Soto. And number two, these CBT taxes need to get out of the game, or at least like change drastically because they're not working.
Well, I understand your point. I mean, that'll be more beneficial to some of the higher end players, you would imagine. That I get.
In general, it hasn't created the parity that they thought it would.
Well, that's because some owners still aren't interested in winning. Let's call it exactly what it is. My question for you is, why would he say this publicly? Who does it help? Here's who it hurts, in my opinion. The feelings of the person in New York City whose family makes $78,000 a year and just spent X amount of dollars to take a family of 4 or 5 to your Yankees game. Okay? That could be their summer vacation. Let's call it what it is in today's world that we live in. That could be their big moment as a family. So you do that, you have a great time. You get to see Aaron Judge in center. You get to see Juan Soto in right. You get to see the awesome pitching that the Yankees have put on display, even without the reigning AL Cy Young Award winner in Garrett Cole. You're proud of your team because you're like, this is the year we get back to the World Series for the first time in a decade and a half. And now you see your billionaire owner family front and center saying, yeah, I don't know if we can do this. Now, it's your business. However you want to run your business is perfectly fine, and I am not going to begrudge the Steinbrenner family for running it the way that they want to do it. Nothing wrong with that. I think you got to be careful with the words you're choosing. If you want to have those feelings, have them behind closed doors. Have them in meetings with the Players Association. Why? What good? I
don't agree with it, Chris.
Because what good does it do to say it publicly?
He's being transparent. How many times do we ask for the owners to come out and talk and be transparent with the fans? Like,
so hold on.
So what we finally get it. Now we're going to say, don't do that because it's going to hurt somebody's feelings.
We can't afford good players.
That's not what he said, Chris. That's not what he said at all.
Payrolls at the levels we're at right now are simply
they're paying $307 million in their payroll this year, Chris. Because of these CBT taxes, it's not sustainable. That's ridiculous. Like what they have to pay on top of every dollar when they go over the third tax threshold, or even maybe the fourth, it's stupid. And they did it to themselves.
Do you think the Yankees are going to lose money this year?
That has nothing to do with it, Chris. That has nothing to do with it. In fact, if I was that family that you're talking about that loves the Yankees so much, right? Mm-hmm. They go support this team. You want your owner to make smart decisions like, hey, let's cut some payroll so we can sign Juan Soto. Like, it's not. I didn't really get what you're going with that. Like, he's being transparent. That's all we ever ask for with these owners is to come talk to the media and be transparent. And now that he does, now we're gonna bash him for saying something that's like just logical and true.
I don't know, man. I that's not what I would want to hear from my owner. Sitting up,
you don't have to worry about that with your owner.
No, that's true. That's very true. Right. I just don't think that you have to share everything. I don't think that's what you have to do.
I don't think he was calculated with his words, and he's doing that as a way to say, hey, we're not going to give Juan Soto what he wants or anything. I think he just answered the question truthfully, and I'm like, okay with that.
How do you think most Yankee fans took it?
I think the ones that are, that understand where the payroll is at and what's happening next year, there was context to it. That's not Hal Steinbrenner's fault that some Yankee fans are just going to see that surface level read a headline. Like, there's a bunch of money coming off the books next year. He's just saying, some of these guys aren't going to be playing they're going to be playing for different teams. Gleyber Torres will not be playing for the Yankees next year.
So maybe come out and say, hey, listen, we're going to have some really interesting decisions to make, right? We've got a lot of guys that are up.
It's essentially what he did say. This is like the epitome of like headline reading.
That is not what he said. It wouldn't be payrolls at the levels we're at right now are simply not sustainable, as opposed to, hey, we're going to have some really interesting decisions. We got a lot of good players that have helped us get to this point that are up for new contracts. And
again, Yankee fans,
I can't wait to see which direction this ends up going.
Yankee fans understand that's what he meant. That's exactly what's going on. Like, they understand.
You don't know exactly
that there are free agents.
You don't know
coming off the books. I think there's context there. You can't just read the headline. I don't like that.
This isn't a headline. This is a quote. I am quoting what the owner said.
And there's context to quotes, right? Because you could get a quote in a show that we do, and it will make no sense into the real context of what we're saying. You could chop it up however you want, man.
How does this quote this quote is standalone? It is 100% standalone. I would agree with you that there are some quotes that you need massive context. This one is 100% standalone.
I love the quote, and I told you why I love the quote.
I know why you love the quote.
It's a silly thing that we're doing with these baseball payrolls.
Okay.
I love it. Hot, fired up,
and sunny this summer. I can't do much about the heat or the steam. I can help you out with the sun. That's because our friends at Shady Rays, they have you covered with premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. Shady Rays, it's an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades, they have durable frames, crystal clear optics. Y'all look great out there. Even you, Plouffe. Even if your theories
are fired up today.
Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventure. Plus, if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of these bad boys is backed by lost or broken replacements. So you call them up. You say, hey, listen, I sat on my shades in the car. I lost them in the ocean when I was going out with my shirt off next to Joe Ryan, like somebody on this show. It'll be taken care of. If you don't love your shades as well, you can exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. I haven't heard of one person who's like, oh, these things suck. But if you feel that way, they'll take care of you within the first month. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head on over to ShadyRays.com. You use that code today. You'll get 50% off 2+ pair of polarized sunglasses. And that offer applies to the custom Jimmy and Jake collab shades. Go get yours now. We good?
We're good. We just having discussions, Chris.
Craziest stat out of these three from Wednesday. The Cardinals handing the O's their first sweep in 106 series, dating back to May of 2022 during the regular season. The Guardians and the Royals both go 6-0 during their respective homestands, so no ground gained or lost by those two atop the AL Central. Or Ketel Marte extending his hit streak to 21 games, but his average has dipped nearly 20 points in that span.
I'm going to give the Cardinals their flowers right now. This is why, we talk about, Rob Thompson and what he says about the Phillies record. It's May 23rd. There's still so much baseball left to be played. Less than 2 weeks ago, what were they sitting at? 15 and 24? And we were writing the Cardinals off. What we were doing is we were taking their roster and saying, you're going to go here, you're going to go there, you're going to go here, you're released, get out of here. And again, 12 days later, they win series against LA, they win a series against Boston, and they go in and sweep the Orioles. I love it for them. I'm so happy because Cardinals fans were miserable. Like the bullpen has been great. We know that, especially the back end of the bullpen has been excellent. I think it's been really cool to see Mason Wynn kind of like be the guy that people thought he was going to be, and even maybe a little bit better, especially offensively. And all this is coming without Contreras. Like that was the point where we said, okay, I think they're probably done. Teams sometimes can use injuries as a rallying cry, as a point and say, you know what, let's do something. The Cardinals have done that. And then I want to give the Orioles a little bit of, I don't know, we've talked about this streak quite a bit. And yes, they got swept in the postseason. We understand that. But to go 106, is that what you said? 106 series without getting swept is golf claps for that. That's incredible. Their franchise has turned around so quickly. We talk about them all the time. But the Cardinals are back. They're 3 games under 500. Now, if you Google Cardinals, it's not about who they're going to be trading away. It's like, ooh, who could they be trading for? All in the span of 12 days. I love it. Congratulations, St. Louis. Your City Connect uniforms are still pretty mid.
Yeah, you can ask Mason Wynn about that. Did you see him air him out?
What did he say?
Oh, they asked him about him. They go, well, what do you think of the Lou? And he goes, they're different. It's very
they join the list of, it's all the storied franchises that don't want to go too crazy.
Yeah.
All of them have just put out, except for the Red Sox.
Yeah, the Red Sox went.
Snaps for the Red Sox. They actually went a different route. I love that.
Yeah, they look like they won the 6th stage of the Tour de France with those yellow jerseys. Those were interesting. Tip of the cap to the Orioles. You know, a few weeks ago we thought maybe they were going to get swept at home against the Blue Jays, and they get a late homer and all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty remarkable. This is the first time that Adley Rutschman has been swept in the regular season, because I think that streak started 6 days before his call-up.
Yes.
Of course, people will point to the fact that they did get swept by the Texas Rangers in the playoffs. I understand that. We're just simply talking about the regular season. For me, it's the reason, yes, I am wearing an Arizona Diamondbacks jersey. When I saw that Ketel Marte extended his hit streak to 21 games, and everybody said, yeah, throughout that time, he's basically been getting 1 hit every night. I had to go back and look at the numbers because I knew that the hit streak was hovering right around 20. Well, last night was only the 3rd multi-hit game, and he hasn't had more than 2 in any game during that streak. So I was like, God, what's happened to his average? Well, it went from like 309 to 291. That is remarkable that your average dipped. I'm not talking about a point or two. I'm talking about almost 20 full points during a 3-week hitting streak. Who the hell does like that? Takes some serious skill to do that.
Yeah, that is actually very wild. It almost feels, I've been there where you've had these hitting streaks where like you're getting 1 hit and it's like almost like you're treading water, like you're trying to get to shore, like you're in a lake and you're just trying to get there. And if you feel like you can't, like you don't feel like you're on a 20-game hitting streak is essentially what I'm trying to say. So I don't know.
When do you start
that much too?
When do you start paying attention to a hitting streak?
I mean, 20 games, like from an outsider's perspective, you're talking about just the player and he's getting 1 hit a game. It doesn't feel great. But from the outside perspective, 20 games in a row is insane. Do I start paying attention to the hitting streak for what? Like chasing DiMaggio?
No. Because we're not anywhere close to that. That's not even on the same stratosphere right now. I mean,
30. I think 30 is a good number.
Yeah, I think 30.
30 means you got to hit every single day of the month plus.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on. One guy who won't be getting any hits for the foreseeable future is Xander Bogaerts. He broke his shoulder. He is out indefinitely. He's hoping to get back by the end of the season. We can't put a date on it right now. True or false, because of Xander's early season offensive struggles, this isn't as huge a deal for the Padres as you would have thought.
I'll say false to that, because I always say this about guys with track records like him, and he clearly has a great track record. You know, his OPS is in the 5s or low 6s right now, whatever it is. He's a career 800 OPS guy. That means that like it's coming. The surge is coming. So like it's still very much a disappointment for the Padres to not have him. And they have some like kind of crazy decisions to make. Now, Luis Arraez is going to go play second base. I don't think they necessarily want him playing second base every day unless they can unlock some defensive potential that nobody else has been able to unlock, which could happen. I'm just curious, like, what are they going to do? Because they have a team full of shortstops. Can they move some of those shortstops from the outfield back into the infield, keep Arraez at DH? He's been playing second base since Bogaerts has been out, and they've kind of been rotating to the DH. Like, does Profar get a chance at second base? Peralta just got called up. What timing for him to sign a minor league deal with the Padres? Like, is it less than a week ago he did that, and all of a sudden he's in the big leagues? That's called having a good agent. I think that's the thing that I'm thinking about the most with this injury is what are they going to do at second base? Like, I don't think they're going to move Tatis back into the infield. Could Jackson Merrill come in? Like I said, I think maybe Profar makes the most sense to go try to play second base every day. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's kind of where I'm at. I think it is a hit for them. And now I think they do have some interesting decisions to make.
So Xander's poor start to the season has been well documented. It's been a major issue. His OPS has been under 600 every day since April 12th. Every day. That's brutal. And this isn't just a guy. This is a guy they paid nearly $300 million for to kind of add some maturity to a lineup, and it just hasn't happened his first year and a half there, which is too bad because he is, I'm sure you know him, right?
Yes, last year was
okay.
It wasn't bad.
It was okay. He even said it was not up to his standards, but it was okay. I mean, he stole some bases. He had a little bit of pop, but it wasn't like when he was a 5-time Silver Slugger. He had been showing some signs recently of kind of turning, I'm not going to say turning the corner, but at least breaking out a little bit. He had a 6-game hitting streak recently. So with a guy like that, who is so well decorated, who is a 2-time champion, you would like to give him a shot the last 4 months of the year to kind of rectify this situation, in part because of what they're going to have to do. You're either going to have to put Luis Arraez at second base, and we know about his defensive struggles. It's not just average. It is significantly below average. So does that mean Tyler Wade gets a shot? Does it mean Donovan Solano gets a shot? I don't know, because this is a team that is going to be in the wild card hunt. I firmly believe that. I think it just puts more and more pressure on Machado and Fernando Tatis to be out of this world good, which is something that neither of them have been over the last year and a half.
I agree.
Okay. Last thing, what was better? The return of the home run jacket for the Toronto Blue Jays, who actually, when Bo Bichette went deep, got their first home run out of the cleanup spot all year. That had been the longest drought to start a season since 1997. Or your guy, Steven Oker, coming out of the bullpen in our nation's capital via the bullpen car and then tipping the driver on his way to the mound.
I hope you're talking about the Blue Jays. I'm happy to see them smiling a little bit. I do have my Bo Bichette All-Star shirt on right now, shop.johnboymedia.com. I love the Oker thing. The only thing I'll say about this, I was doing the game yesterday, and I saw this happen, and I was wondering, what denomination of bill is that? After the game, he said it was a $5 bill. That's not show. Like, Twins, if you want to be show, you got to give the guy at least a 20, if not 100. If you want to be show, give him $100. Walk out into the mound so you feel good about yourself out there. Like, I just gave that guy 100, made his day, and now I'm going to go shove $5 to a big leaguer. We always talk about, you just mentioned, nobody wants to hear big leaguers complain about money. Nobody wants to, put 100 in that guy's pocket. Come on, man.
Okay. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
I'm curious about do we have any idea when this was formulated? Was this, hey, did you notice that they're using a bullpen cart to take us to the mound? What if the next guy who goes out tips him?
He said, I don't know. He said that he's taken that a bunch of times. He's taken the cart out there. And so he had the $5 bill in his pocket every game of the series. And I don't know if he's been tipped before. I'm sure the guy's been tipped before. I'm sure of it.
So do you keep it?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Really? Wow.
What would you do with it? I mean, if you want to donate it, that's great. Wow. We're all about charity here on this show.
Interesting. Yeah, I love that. I think that's awesome. I'm going to ask Chris Bassett, whom I'm interviewing tomorrow, about the return of the home run jacket, which, by the way, it looks like stylistically it's been improved.
Better, yes.
It looks like
100%.
it's tailored a little bit. So I mean, it looked good on Bo. I'll be
the red
curious.
carpet.
Yeah.
That.
You know, they've got some cool different patches on it. So, yeah, we'll have to go over that with Chris Bassett. Nick Schumann in the chat made the point that Jake Cronenworth is sliding over from first to second, and Arias is over at first.
Tonight?
Yeah,
Today?
this afternoon, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought about that too. I mean, they have a bunch of infielders just playing everywhere, so like they have opportunities, you know, to change things up from night to night. So
yeah, and there are people who obviously are Padres fans in the chat saying how lost I am, and I've fallen off the deep end if I think that Xander. I think that's what you're talking about. You didn't really specify, but that's okay. If you think I'm wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. About how I feel like the Padres are going to miss Xander Bogaerts a little bit. But I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe they were thinking about something else. Maybe they didn't like my rant, my anti-Plouffe rant.
Let's go. Let's just hug it out. Come on. Come here.
I'm trying. It's not anti-Plouffe, by the way. Sorry, it's not anti.
You were mean to me today. You were mean to me today.
That was not mean. I was just simply disagreeing with you. I was simply disagreeing.
It's okay to do that.
And trying to stand up for the little person.
A little civil discourse is fine.
Yeah, I know who you were standing up for.
Transparency and truth.
No, you were.
I'll do it every day. Every day of my life, I'll stand up for those two things.
Standing up for not everything. You don't have to tell the truth in everything. You don't have to share everything. You don't have to share everything.
I don't believe that.
Really? So you think every business?
Me and Abe Lincoln. Me, Abe Lincoln, and Kyle Tucker. Same guy.
Oh, my God. That's funny. And Chet Holmgren. Do you know who Chet Holmgren is?
I don't know who that is.
From Oklahoma City? He does look exactly like Abe Lincoln. Although I don't think Abe Lincoln...
the basketball team.
Yeah, although Abe Lincoln was very tall, I don't think that he could protect the rim quite like Chet Holmgren.
Is Oklahoma City in Oklahoma, or is it one of those things that's like not where it is?
You mean where like there's part of Kansas that's not in Kansas? Like there's
Kansas City's not in Kansas.
Right, there's a Kansas City in Missouri, but there is a Kansas City, Kansas as well.
That's ridiculous.
I think that's accurate. All right, let's get out of here because now we're getting just silly. We are back at it again on Friday. I believe we'll be back at like probably 12:15 Eastern for a live liftoff, something like that.
Yeah.
We cannot wait. Don't forget to get your factor question of the weekend by Thursday night at the latest. Please do it. You guys are really, really, they help us out. You guys really do a nice job contributing to the show. So for our one-of-kind producer, Dan Rourke, and our buddy, little Trojan Tommy, our intern, and the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, whom I still love. I am Chris Rose. We will see you on Friday's Baseball Today, presented to you by Factor.